Alright, so out of all the conversations that we could have about the potential 2024 draftees, this is the weirdest one that I didn't think we'd actually talk about ever, but hey, I'm open to some surprises here and there. So today we are talking about the projected first overall pick in the 2024 NHL entry draft, Macklin Celebrini, and how a recent article, which goes over an interview with his folks, may just very well have revealed where Celebrini and the Celebrini family would prefer Celebrini's NHL destination to be. Now that is a long freaking sentence, and I get it, it's a little bit confusing, but believe me, there's an interesting angle to this. So, heading into the 2024 NHL entry draft, Macklin Celebrini has been making a ton of headlines, and for very good reason. The 17-year-old, 6 feet, 190-pound left-handed guy born in Vancouver, British Columbia, is the recent Hobey Baker winner, and he is the projected first overall pick. He is going to go first, and it's not really up for debate at this point anymore. At the beginning of the season, there was a conversation, could Eiserman go number 1? Could Demidov go number 1? Could somebody else squeak into that top spot? Nope, nothing, zilch, nada. Now it's Macklin Celebrini, and he is not going to drop. Now, the interesting thing about this entire first overall destination preference conversation is that last year, when we had Connor Bedard be the first overall pick, it was kind of widely known that Bedard was a mega, super, undivided, immovable Vancouver Canucks fan. He made this very apparent in a lot of the interviews he had done leading into the draft, how the Canucks are his favorite team, and how Tyler Mott is his favorite player, and a bunch of other crazy stuff. Bedard is also a Vancouver guy, from North Van, so his entire fandom is pretty natural as well. But even though Connor Bedard did not go first overall to the Vancouver Canucks, he is still a dedicated and devoted Chicago Blackhawk today. It's just if you had asked a lot of people, hey, what do you think Bedard wants? If you had to guess, obviously we are not Bedard, but if you had to put yourself in his shoes, if he had a choice, I think a lot of people would have been like, yeah, I probably would have wanted to come to the Canucks, right? Bedard and Petey? Pretty good, right? But the interesting thing about Macklin Celebrini is that, hey, he's also from Vancouver. He was born here, Vancouver, British Columbia, and he played for the North Shore Winter Club. But if you go over to this article published on San Jose Hockey Now earlier last week by Sheng Peng, it talks about how the Celebrini family actually hopes that the San Jose Sharks will draft Macklin Celebrini instead. This article will be linked in the description if you want to read it yourself, but the opening paragraph talks about how the Celebrini family cannot help but hope that it's the San Jose Sharks who select Celebrini first overall. Included in this article is a video interview where Peng goes out there and talks to Rick Celebrini, Macklin's father. It'd be amazing. We talk about it all the time. Rick Celebrini, father of the Livermore-based clan, told San Jose Hockey Now this week. We try not to go there either because it's out of our hands, and you don't really want to be disappointed either. But as a family, it would be unbelievable to have him here with us in the Bay where we can help him and support him. Now, what exactly are they talking about here? We just said that the Celebrinis are from Vancouver, Lego. What do you mean San Jose? What are they talking about? Well, if you scroll down in the piece, Peng goes out there and writes this, that in August 2018, the Golden State Warriors hired Vancouver native Rick Celebrini to be their director of sports medicine and performance. The next year, the rest of the family followed him to Willow Glen, wife Robin, oldest son Aiden, Macklin, daughter Charlie, and youngest son RJ. Aiden was then 15. He's a Vancouver Canucks prospect, by the way. Little extra tidbit there. Macklin was 13, and they also both played for the San Jose Junior Sharks in 2019-2020. And that is one of the things that you have to start wondering about when it comes to these prospects that are getting drafted and making their homes known in the NHL. Macklin Celebrini is 17 years old, turning 18 in June. And so when his father in 2018 was hired by Golden State and the entire family moved over, Macklin was just barely getting out of his preteens. These guys are really young. 2018 might seem like, it's just 2018, it's just 6 years ago, but then you think about it, that's a third of Macklin Celebrini's life. So for a lot of us here who are a bit older, maybe past our NHL draft dates of eligibility, this entire thing might be a little bit shocking to listen to, but It's the ebbs and flows of being a sports fan, right? Seeing a lot of these younger kids that are more talented and better than us make their homes in the NHL. It was a good year when Macklin and Aiden Celebrini played for the Junior Sharks. Macklin posted up 49 goals and 45 assists in just 54 games for the U14 squad. And the rest of the video interview, which is also included in the article, goes over the connection to the city and the area, etc., etc. As the article says, the Celebrini family are based in Livermore. So if you go over to the Google Maps, I mean, hey, Livermore, California, right there, just a tad north of San Jose. And there is a very, very distinct location there. And of course, I mean, the Golden State Warriors, San Francisco, is just a little bit over to the west in this entire territory, so you can see how there's a connection here. So for the Celebrini family to be pretty outspoken about how they'd prefer for Macklin to stay in the area and for him to get drafted by the San Jose Sharks, it is one of the more interesting notes that we've had about a first overall pick in the past few years. Also, it should be noted that because of the way the NHL shaped up yesterday, because of all the games that were played between some of these bottom teams, the San Jose Sharks have actually clinched themselves the lowest NHL odds for the 2024 NHL draft. If the Sharks win their final 2 games, they would be tied with the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks would have the tiebreaker. So automatically, the Sharks have the lowest points in the NHL season. They're 19-52-9 right now, and they have 47 points in 80 games. That is absolutely dog water, piss poor, terrible. It's been really bad in San Jose. But I don't think anybody is too surprised. They sold all their good players. Tomas Hertl is no longer a Shark. Timo Meier is no longer a Shark. Erik Karlsson is gone. Your top defensemen include minutes-eating, puck-munching shot blockers like Mario Ferraro and Kyle Burrows, and no disrespect to those guys. They were so good in my fantasy league this year because of all the blocks that they got. But these guys are your top defensemen. And you're really just hoping for the future. You want to see Devin Cooley come in here and do his thing. Another San Jose area prodigy, by the way. And a lot of other defensemen, forwards, they're young, they're doing their thing. Eklund, Borderlow, you'll see them soon make bigger impacts. But Macklin Celebrini could very well be the next guy, since the San Jose Sharks have now officially clinched the top odds at getting the first overall pick in the 2024 NHL draft. So even though Macklin Celebrini's father went out there and said, hey, it's out of our control, we don't really want to have too many expectations here, he did go out there and say that their preference would be to play in San Jose, and that it is one thing that they talk about all the time, quote unquote. So if you're a San Jose Sharks fan, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the San Jose Sharks being the destination here, whether or not they have themselves what it takes to house Celebrini for the long term, and where exactly you think he fits into the lineup in the next few years. Obviously, this is a pretty easy conversation to have because you guys are locked into last place. But still, what are your thoughts about Macklin Celebrini heading over to San Jose? And if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan like I am, what are your thoughts about that too? Because I do remember we did make a video I think it was just 1 year ago. But we did talk about the idea of Macklin Celebrini potentially wanting to go to Vancouver, and the reason we talked about that was because we were talking about the angle that said, oh yeah, Bedard would want to come to Vancouver. So if we have one guy who wants to come here because he's a Vancouver guy, and then the next year guy is also wanting to come to Vancouver because he's a Vancouver guy too, like, it makes sense, right? It was kind of a funny thing. Oh yeah, here it is. Another franchise prospect wants to be a Canuck. Yeah, we talked about that 11 months ago, but hey, no, the guy spent half of his life in the Bay Area, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Macklin Celebrini and the family of his maybe preferring San Jose to Vancouver. I'd say that Vancouver getting Celebrini would be cool too, but they kind of have no chance of doing that. They're in the playoffs, they're locked in, and they don't even have their first round pick anymore. So yeah, no, that's kind of a lost cause, unless the Canucks make some sort of exacerbated panic trade to get a first round pick that happens to be first overall, but yeah, that's not going to happen. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Macklin Celebrini. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.